This video is made possible by Glasswire. Glasswire is advanced firewall software available today on Windows and soon OS X at glasswire.com. Glasswire monitors your network by traffic type, application, and location. The activity graph, which also acts as a timeline to events, gives you all of your network activities in a visually appealing and easy to read format. Discrete notifications are used on the activity graph whenever you have a new connection, sudden peak in bandwidth, possible threats, and much more. You can monitor it this way, or you can go under the alert tab. Glasswire's free version is very powerful on its own, but the paid version has a cool connect feature that allows you to accept or deny connections. Monitor your data being used, protect your network, and look classy doing it with Glasswire.
The HTC 10. HTC's attempt at getting back into the game and really showing people what they're made of. It is the successor to the M9, however, HTC has dropped the 1 and the M from the title, and now it's just the number 10. The reason being, HTC says 10 is a magic number. It means success and it means perfection. Well, I have to say that the HTC 10 is far from perfect, but it is damn near close. First off, the packaging is familiar, having the same dimpled pattern of previous years with the HTC branding right there on the front. Inside, you're going to find the phone resting right there on top, and underneath you're going to find your typical accessories. These include a ton of literature and paperwork ranging from safety info to device instructions. You also get an HTC branded SIM card removal tool, which is attached to the literature box. Next up, you have your wall adapter and then your USB Type-C data cable, and that's it. I can't lie, I was a bit disappointed when I found out and saw that the HTC 10 didn't come with headphones. HTC has always talked about their sound quality and how amazing their boom sound speakers are, and this is one of the most expensive models they have ever released, and there's no headphones. In terms of physique, well, my HTC 10 is a little customized with a Slick Wrap's leather and metal combination, giving you the machine look and natural leather feel at the same time. If you're interested in picking one of these up for yourself, just check out the description below and it will link you over there. Mine just looks simply gorgeous though, so try to top that. Allowing the phone to go into beast mode and Incredible Hulk the skin, you can see that the 10 is got to be the best built phone currently available. Videos and pictures cannot justify how this thing sits in the hand or looks in person. From the gorgeous all-metal design, which is carried over from previous models, to the chamfered edges that are on steroids, the phone is definitely a looker. And before you guys say anything, yes, the camera on the back does protrude, but you know what though? That seems to be a normal thing. It's like companies have an erection for this type of thing nowadays, so I've grown to expect it. It really doesn't bother me. The buttons in the SIM card are located on the right-hand side, which I have had problems with in the past with other HTC devices. Whether the buttons were just too soft or I had accidental presses, it was just hard to differentiate the volume from the power button. Well, the 10 fixes all that plus some. The buttons are firm but yet clicky and provide excellent tactility. The power button is rigid and texturized so you can differentiate the types without looking. The volume rocker even sticks out a little bit further, so if you have good proprioceptive input and sensory integration, you'll have no issues hitting the right button. On the left hand side, you're going to find your SD card slot, which is expandable up to 2 terabytes, which is crazy talk. It also supports flex storage, which I'm not too fond of. The top houses the 3.5mm headphone jack and is the only area I found on the phone other than the glass on the front that is not done in metal, which I'm guessing has to do with the antennas and signal. The bottom you're going to find a microphone, USB Type-C port, and one of 2 speakers. On the front you're going to find your front-facing camera, notification LED, your dedicated sensors, and your earpiece, which also doubles as a front-facing speaker. On the bottom is your home button and fingerprint scanner. The home button doesn't press in like the one found on Samsung phones, it's touch sensitive like the one found on the OnePlus 2. Honestly, I like it. It does take some time to get used to, but once you do, most people will enjoy it. Pressing your finger on it while your phone is locked and screen is off will automatically trigger the fingerprint scanner to unlock your device and of course turn on your screen. The fingerprint scanner is extremely responsive and accurate because the button is recessed and does not have any give to it for operation, so it's about as smooth as you can get. To me, it's one of the better implementations on an Android device, and I prefer it over the rear-facing scanners found on the Nexus devices simply because I don't have to pick up my phone to activate it every single time. Am I lazy? Yeah, but you know what? It's called work simplification and energy conservation. Just remember that. The speakers found on the HTC 10 are definitely the best on a mobile device, but are not as good as the ones found on the M9. HTC claimed the bottom speaker acts more like a subwoofer and the one found in the earpiece is more like a tweeter, I guess you could say. Switching between music and theater settings will give you different results, but in the end, HTC claims it's more immersive and premium. Truthfully, it's a bunch of Hufflepuff. I don't find the bass coming out of the subwoofer on the bottom to be any more than the bass coming out of the front-facing speakers on the M9. Yes, it's still the best audio experience you're gonna get on a mobile device, but it's not as good as previous generations. It's a little bit of a downer. They still offer excellent quality and will please anyone coming from any other device. They do add to the multimedia experience or gaming experience, but I feel it was a backward step when HTC really needs to move forward and stick to their if it's not broke, don't fix it approach for certain aspects. The display on the 10 is by far one of the best displays I have seen, but doesn't compete with the S7 or the S7 Edge. Hell no, but it's not far off. It's a 5.2-inch Super LCD 5 Quad HD panel protected by Gorilla Glass. It has curved edges for a smooth off to on-screen swiping experience, and the quality is outstanding. I found everything to be extremely crisp with excellent color accuracy, and if the colors aren't vibrant enough for you, you can go into the settings and change it to the vivid color profile. It's not going to give that overly saturated look that you get from an AMOLED display, but it's still pleasing on the eyes. If the temperature is too warm or too cold for you, that can be adjusted in the same settings. My gripes are only minor. The panel doesn't get as bright as some of the others I have seen on the market, but it does get brighter than my iPhone 6s Plus. However, outdoor visibility is still perfectly acceptable, and I did not have a hard time viewing whatever was on my display. The other drawback is the blacks. I just didn't find them to get dark enough for me. I know it's not an AMOLED display and I'm not going to get those dark inky blacks, but I have seen other LCD displays on the market that do have much deeper and darker blacks than the ones found on this phone. Internally, you're looking at the quad-core Snapdragon 820 clocked at 2.2 GHz coupled with 4 GB of RAM, and performance is as you would expect with specs like that. The phone flies, and quite frankly is the snappiest phone I have used in a long time. Background app switching is nearly instant. Loading graphic-intense games or apps is nothing, and playing games for an extended amount of time is a breeze. More importantly though, I didn't notice any heat radiating from the rear panel during extensive use. This is something that plagued the M9 and doesn't seem to be existent on the 10. I mean, it gets warm for sure, but it definitely does not get hot. Battery-wise, you're looking at a 3000 mAh battery, and performance isn't bad. It's not great either though. I mean, I guess it's what you would call average and typical from phones being produced nowadays. It easily lasts me a full day most of the time and has amazing standby time. Thanks to the USB Type-C port, you do get Quick Charge 3.0 and something HTC calls Cool Charge, which pretty much keeps your phone from getting hot while charging. And it actually works, and I was impressed for the most part. So let's talk about the camera. The camera on the HTC 10 has been improved. It's up from 5 megapixels to 12 megapixels, and it still has what HTC calls ultra pixel technology. In other words, it's oversized pixels coming in at 1.55 microns. It's a BSI sensor, has an aperture of f1.8 with optical image stabilization, and it's able to capture 4K video and slow motion. Since the release of the latest software update, the camera has improved a ridiculous amount. The photos coming off the HTC 10 are amazing with great sharpness, excellent contrast, and very, very nice colors. The camera can take some beautiful HDR pictures and great macro shots also. The focusing works fairly well, however, I'm still not a fan of this whole laser autofocusing thing. Low light is a bit to be desired, but still performs well, and the results should please most people. Although the darker the image, the redder the subject, just keep that in mind. Luckily, the software does feature manual control, so you can adjust that when needed. Unfortunately though, they don't carry over to video at all, but the 4K coming off the 10 is still beautiful. The front side camera is 5 megapixels with 1.23 micron sized pixels and an aperture of f1.8. And it features a BSI sensor as well with an 86-degree wide angle lens, and it's one of the first devices equipped with optical image stabilization on the front facing camera. A pretty nice addition for daily selfie takers, and they won't be disappointed with the performance either. It only captures 1080p video, but it's still very nice to look at. On the software side of things, HTC did something that was very thoughtful. Rather than having a bunch of duplicate applications like say the internet browser that comes from your smartphone maker and then Chrome, HTC only added the apps on the device that Google does not create themselves and comes with the service pack that Google releases on every phone. The 10 is running the latest version of Sense UI on top of Android 6.01 Marshmallow, and it's definitely one of the better skins out there. Everything is fluid and not loaded down with a lot of excessive features that you'll never use. At the end of the day, Nova Launcher still takes the cake for me, and I had to switch and then go ahead and add my favorite icon pack on there also. In any case, there are a few cool things built into the software like support for the Ice View case, which looks really cool, I just don't like portfolio style cases. You also get some gestures like the ever so popular knock knock feature, which, double tap to turn on the screen and double tap to turn it off, and you also get a few more. All in all, I have to give it to HTC for not getting rid of the app drawer and also cutting back on even more bloatware, giving us a much better Android skin and an overall great experience. So ultimately, is the HTC 10 the best Android device currently available? Well, that's a little subjective. It depends what's important to you. If having the best built phone and having the best audio coming out of a smartphone is the most important thing to you, then yeah, the HTC 10 is the king of phones currently. However, if you're looking for the best camera, the best display, and a ton of features, then no, I would go with the S7 or the S7 Edge because they have the best camera currently available on any phone, the best display on any phone, and pack a ton of features like being water resistant and IP68 certified. Plus, I feel HTC wants way too much for this phone. If they were to cut the price by about $100, it would give you more value per dollar. But considering HTC has had a problem in the past with selling phones, I just don't see how they can ask as much as they're asking for this phone, especially when you can get pretty much the S7 Edge or the S7 at the same price. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop it a big thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already subscribed so you don't miss me, this beautiful face, or any content. Then go ahead and share it with all of your peoples and your people's peoples, and then your friends and then your neighbors. Go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. And of course, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Be easy.